It's such a rare word in contemporary Christianity, I think. There's almost something old-fashioned about it. That we're meant to sacrifice for the gospel. We're meant to sacrifice for Jesus Christ. What did Jesus say? If any man would come after me, let him deny himself and take up a cross and follow me. Now you understand that a cross is not a piece of jewelry made of platinum or gold or silver that you hang around your neck as a piece of jewelry, something beautiful to look at. It's rather odd, isn't it, that we would ever think of doing that. It would be like having a syringe or a little electric chair or a little platinum version of a gas chamber. Because what is the cross? It is a civil instrument of execution. Jesus says, no, I'm not telling you to put a piece of jewelry around your neck and make you feel all warm and cozy in the mornings, like some kind of talisman that keeps you safe from the hurts and dangers and trials and difficulties out there, like a Christian version of a rabbit's foot. No, this is what Jesus is saying. When you come to me, I want you to come and die. Die to yourself. Die to your ambitions. Die to your dreams. Die to your aspirations. Not my will, but yours be done. Thomas à Kempis, in his book, The Imitation of Christ, put it this way, very famous statement that he made: if you will bear the cross, it will bear you. If you will bear the cross, it will bear you. Now you understand here, Paul isn't asking us to make sacrifices. That's not the point. I'm not saying that we shouldn't make sacrifices, but that is not the point here. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice. He's not asking you to make sacrifices. He wants you to be a sacrifice. Alas, and did my Savior bleed? And did my Sovereign die? Here, Lord, I give myself away. 'Tis all that I can do. Here, Lord, before the cross of Jesus Christ, I give myself away. 'Tis all that I can do. Jesus wants you. Not a part of you, but you. So the ethical consequence involves, first of all, sacrifice. Secondly, the ethical consequence that Paul has in mind here involves the entire person. To present your bodies, the ESV has, to present your bodies, or you could render that, to present the whole person as a sacrifice. One of the probably greatest privileges I've ever had in my life was to meet and become a friend to a remarkable woman. She lived in Belfast and still lives in Belfast in Northern Ireland, and I'm referring to Helen Roseveare. You have to be of a certain generation, I think, to have met and heard Helen Rosevere. She is, without any shadow of a doubt, the most remarkable woman I've ever encountered in my life. And for 17 years or so, when I lived and ministered in Belfast, I had the privilege of seeing her on many, many occasions and ministering to a ministry that she had to young girls, discipling ministry for young girls, and I would go and speak at those meetings once or twice a year, and just got to know her a little. And you know her story, of course, how in the 1950s and then in the 1960s, in what was then Congo, she was captured by terrorists, we would call them today, and she was taken prisoner for many, many months, 5-6 months or more, and she was repeatedly abused and raped. You have read her story, I am sure, many of you, and the godliness of this woman. And I remember on the one occasion where I heard her relate, and she always had a reluctance to relate this story. She wanted us to know the story, but she wanted us to know the story as she would want us to know the story, because not for the salacious details of her imprisonment and the abuse that she suffered, but the moment, and she describes the first encounter with these men and the fear that gripped her as to what these men were going to do to her, and hearing in her mind's eye not a physical, audible voice, but a whispering of God within her mind and in her soul in those moments, that Jesus saying to her,